especially with this new age, right?
Yes.
Watu wana show up na hey man, kama mimi sangine I worry a lot to go in the middle of fire and tear gas and nini flashbangs and nini, and someone is kwa phone na TikTok akiambia watu what tap, right? to when you go to any protest sahi, most people wako na phones nyuma yako wakisonga na wewe na kasika nini, which is amazing because it's shifted the role of journalism just from a
TV.
select company.
Yes.
Whatever they say goes.
So hello guys and welcome to Touch Digital TV. My name is Amina Hussein and remember you're watching Sips and Soul, where we share, feel and also connect with human interest stories. And today I am joined by the one and only Brian Obra. He is a cinematographer, a pace setter and also a filmmaker. Karibu sana Brian.
Shukran sana. Happy to be here.
Mi pia nashukuru sana. I think kila mtu anakujua like Just Obra, so we'll go with Just Obra.
Yes. Works.
So, uko poa?
Niko fiti man. Kupambana na baridi ya Nairobi.
We. Tuko wengi.
Unapambana na baridi ya Nairobi na moto ya siasa. Lazima balance.
Last month nilikuwa nimejam tu sana.
So umeacha kujam?
Si uwezi wacha kujam.
Okay.
Inaenda usinijaji. No, mimi niko in bana. Niko in vibaya sana. So kila mtu anajua Just Obra because of the work, the cinematography, but kuna mtu anaweza taka kujua Obra alianzia wapi. So who is Obra?
Obra, so first of all, Obra ikwangi real name yangu. It's usually Brayo, Obra, lose the Y, but it stuck since nikiwa primary school actually. It stuck with the OBRA and I had no idea who nani ndo alitaki or why from the Obra.
Yes.
But I just ran with it and it became ikakuwa place ilifika nikaanza kufeel it's become part and parcel of who I am. I realized so then that becomes a brand. And also cause nilianza before filmmaking nilikuwa DJ before. We had this. So tayari ilikuwa stage name.
I figured out sisi wote before you become what you wanted to become in art, kuna kitu lazima ukue. Mimi nilikuwa dancer.
Mimi like show cinema.
We can sip on that.
Cinema imejaa watu. So but also so apart from being a DJ nilikuwa mtu wa IT your time. Nilikuwa mtu desk mbaya. But also with a love for editing, so nilikuwa na edit my own video mixes. I think that was my in into the entire world of film. Just by editing, although I'm editing for a very different reason. Kuingia campus, nikiwa campus sasa bado nikifanya IT because I'd still edit a couple of projects either for people and stuff like that. Nikaanza realize okay, maybe this is another side of things because I feel I've always been mtu na prefer kujenga than kuwatch ama kumaintain, right? So be it film, be it music, hence the DJing. Time ya 18 nilikuwa na prefer coding sana because at least I'm building something from scratch, right? So the creative aspect of the creative touch of anything I do ndio ilikuwa ni guide. So that was my in into filmmaking.
Okay. So let's move kidogo back. Kuna mtu anaweza taka kujua ulisomea wapi, ulizaliwa wapi, and did you have an eye for cinematography by then or at eye ama ilikuwa just a normal childhood with your parents?
Man, childhood yangu ni long. Mostly because I think I must have lived in what we call counties right now, then provinces, right here, wakati. I must have lived in about...
Awa unafaa uoe. Ulikuwa enzi za province.
Cheza chini. Maleza kapenguria 7. So childhood yangu imekuwa through a couple of counties. So I've lived in Nakuru, I've lived in Meru, Embu, Nairobi, Kisumu, throughout childhood yangu that is. So we were always jumping back and forth, so including nilienda boarding school in class 2 just because of the jumping around na nini. So nasamanga childhood yangu si feel ni kama niko extremely rooted in one place. By birth na by roots mini Embu. I'm from Embu. like ndani kwa msitu Mount Kenya Embu, proper Embu.
Yeah.
So you know my grounding, that's my roots. But in terms of the culture that I've been brought up with, I've been all over the country so much. So I always grab something. Hence why when I walked in Lukasama Naka Masai.
You look like I'm looking at you right now. I'm like, no,
not Masai anymore.
not Embu, you know.
Nah, trust me. So I think you are bringing WhatsApp groups that are Luo based.
Yes.
WhatsApp group that are Meru based.
Yes.
Embu based. So, but it's just because of being brought up around my cultures kama easy. So schooling in Meru, schooling in Embu, went to campus in MMU, Multimedia Rongai, hence why Rongai any day. Yeah, so you know
hizo masimba maandamano.
Mbaya. I got you. Yeah, but pretty much. So childhood yangu has been, I'd call it very uneventful. Luckily, Mother was someone who Mother had a love for cameras, right?
Wow.
Yeah, she had a love for, especially being on the other side of it. So not taking the photos. Yeah, Mother alikuwa model mbaya. Alikuwa anasumbua. Yeah.
Photogenic, you know?
So she'd always come home na vitu kidogo napata leo amenunua tripod na shangaini ya nini sasa hata kamera una lakini amebuy selfie stick.
But by then let me tell you, tripod used to be a very big thing. Ooh. So if she bought it, yeah,
mbaya, that was a thing. That was a huge thing. And then also being brought up by my grandfather as well. Pia archive yake, as in photos zenye ako nazo kwa album yake na mani, hizo zilikuwa zinanientice mbaya.
Yeah.
Hizo black and white akiwa na suti na kakofia na kapipe na nini. Hizo something. So just that concept of freezing something in history hivyo, the fact that I could tell youth here my grandfather ilikuwa inakaje by basis of what was captured, right?
Wow.
I think love just basically for cameras ilianza hapo. Just the fact that you can freeze something and then down the line watu wanaangalia wanasema but umse alikuwa hivi, umse alikuwa anasumbua hivi. Yeah, I think ili grew kutoka hapo.
Nice. That's so beautiful. Yeah, that's
sure,
a beautiful
sure.
childhood. Basi kila mtu ana experience hiyo. Kuna mtu anasema
I
pain that made me.
No. I think I consider myself extremely lucky and grateful in terms of parameters za family nime bring you up. So apart from mother, of course, but also the larger family, so largely brought up by my grandfather and my grandma.
Yes.
And support system yenye wali offer through now their own kids, now in my uncles and aunts and that entire family system. I cannot, I wouldn't stand here niseme vile nimeanza kwa mashida ndo maana nimegrow hivi. Nah.
But
I've been
tunasemanga kila mtu akona story yake, and that's such a beautiful
story. Everyone does. But in terms of just being surrounded by family, forever grateful. So
when you went to like high school and then campus, bado hauko umeanza photography totally?
Not one bit. Leaving high school, going into campus, my first pick had always been IT. I'd always been Madhe libengi comp, I think nikiwa class 7 or something. And that was a huge deal. To video games, to learn software, tukaa hizo. So going into campus, head yangu ilikuwa kwa the exact place. Like it's IT. Whether I want to go hardware or software, we will figure out. Let me get in and then figure from there. So at no point, and I feel it's also being raised in a generation where doctors, lawyers, teachers, that was always the career. Mkito career talk na anko yenu fulani anawaambia kuhusu.
Mimi nilikuwa nauliza nasema I want to be a broadcaster.
Yeah, you see, that's and you see that's right there ni exposure.
Yes.
Mimi kwangu kitu kama news ilikuwa hizo vitu wanadu wameduaje, wamepigia picha aje nini, and it will end there. It will end there for me, but yeah, for me it was always IT until now, just getting into campus and now being exposed to the various courses inside campus. And I realize, okay, wait, so
when you went to campus, you didn't choose film production?
No, I went through, I did IT fully for the first 3 years.
Okay.
Nilifanya IT kabisa for the first 3 years, because hapo ndio akili yangu ilikuwa. But the more you're in campus, the more people you meet, the more you're exposed to various courses and concepts and skill sets, and then unaanza kurealize, maybe this career path is way wider than that. And then, so I didn't hate IT. I loved IT, especially the programming bit. I used to love coding and creating. I think the first week nakumbuka nilikuwa create cap fulani the basics, love calculator where alafu nilikuwa nda around nilza crash wako ni nani, naeka jina yako na jina yake, alafu love calculator, so every letter inaipea nini fulani, value fulani, then ina calculate nasema whether it's a match or it's not a match. As in nilikuwa napenda vitu to just creating something from scratch. My mind had always been kwa hiyo too. Never been cameras until now being exposed to that.
Okay, when did you like ulikachini in your career? Everyone has this and said, I think I might have passion for this. Can I pursue this and see where it will take me? Talk about that.
So second year IT nilianza kurealize I do not hate IT. I still love IT. But nilikuwa na equate to the feeling I'd get when out DJing. So I used to be resident wa some club in Rongai your time, and then I'd have gigs in West on Thika Road and Nini. So I'd always equate the feeling I get when DJing versus the feeling I get when I'm in an IT class, I'm doing something IT.
Yes.
And on both sides the love was there, but I felt as if on this other side there's some fulfillment here, like proper happiness.
Did you attend a symposium or did you kuna kitu lazima ilifanya uka shift? What was that? Ama one day tuliamka ukasema let me start
over time. So and I think it'll build from the end of second year to kuulizana, just having conversations amongst ourselves, friends, classmates, nini. So what would be the opportunities outside for us? Once we're done with this course, what will be the opportunities outside? And we'd always go, okay, so desk job, either went into a network maintenance, if you're coding, because by then work from home wasn't a huge thing as post-COVID, right? So you're in the desk job. And then I'd ask myself, so I started seeing it in the sense of, will I be happy doing that Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 for the rest of my life? Because, I mean, if the money is coming in, that's a good thing, right? But would I have the same fulfillment I've been getting with doing something else? And can I make that a career, right? So nikangalia DJing, okay, the fulfillment is there, but can I get like a proper stable career from it? And by then, DJs were picking up in terms of as a craft and as an industry, but it was still baby steps core industry. So will that be viable for the long term? Probably not. Okay, let me see. I'd also branched off into video editing na nini. What if I can build on that? Because I was also getting enough fulfillment too. I wasn't starting from scratch to learn to edit. I'd come in already editing, right? So there's something there. So do I pursue that? So just by pursuing you, and for the love of, and I used to write a lot by then, blogs, stories, nini. So if I can merge these two, what else? So it wasn't a strict moment of realization. I think it was a build up of, okay, there's that, then you see this, then you hear that, then you feel this. It was always a build up of that. So a couple of months into second year kumaliza tukabreak ndo turudi for the third year, okay, it's like this because of the course I was doing, because it was ilikuwa British curriculum. First year, second year, you already have, that's like what I consider the first year become a diploma, second year higher diploma, third year degree. So even if you step out by the second year, you have something there. Yes, I listen, I know it will piss you off, but na feel ni kama if I jump to this other side, I have more to give to this other side than this other one. Yeah, had long talks. Nini, of course, she was mad because that's money and stuff. Yeah, but she's one of those, I think, very open to ideas, but also very open to letting you be responsible for your own actions. Is this what you love? Is this what you love? Is this what you're feeling? But the only thing I need, sit down, do your research, meditate, call yourself to a meeting, think through all of this.
We were discussing with a friend yesterday concerning the same thing. When someone wants to like delve into art, maybe digressing from another career, parents are normally so scared.
Mbaya.
Na tuko hapa hivi kuambia kwa hii podcast, please don't be scared. Kama msi alikuwa artist, You see, Obra is here, man. You know, at the end of the day, look, it matters. Let's continue. Yeah.
True. So yeah, just having your conversation and then just I think her telling me sour, but if you make this decision, you also have to be liable for consequences.
Yes.
Okay. So sit, think through it, do your research, think of tools you think of tools you might need, think of what's going to be the opportunities, what aftermath itakaje, right?
And remember, you being a cinematographer, camera see cheap, lens itself is, you know.
Just for context, I went to, and this is not shade to MMU or anything.
Yes,
it was just at that stage nilingia MMU. Tell me why Nilikua MMU doing a film course, but I never got to touch a single camera from the school, and I'm doing a film course.
I don't relate. I'm from Mass.
Yeah, it's a Mass. Mass is amazing. Things I've been hearing from Mass, Kina USIU, Kina.
Yeah, but that's quite unfortunate because you know MMU is a fully multimedia university. Like it's a media school.
Yeah.
So, and then it's a university. Mass unajua ni institution ya government. Yeah. So.
yeah, you get. But it's because and MMU was or still is one of the finest schools you can ever attend for media and journalism and all. But I feel as if at that point, film as a course was very new to the curriculum,
even
to the curriculum nationally, to be honest, because as much as I nilikuwa kwa film class, I don't remember a single thing I learned from
class. Then remember again, we only had two schools that were teaching film professionally. That is the one KFS, Kenya Film School here kando ya Kasarani Stadium na Kenya Mass. Hakuna shule ingine. Hizo shule zingine zote ni hata even I remember people from Nairobi University, they come to our school tusome na wao. Na mse anafanya degree. So unapata mse ako third year, I'm not lying to you, a whole third year from Nairobi University 3.3. Not 3.4 or 3.5. 3.3 ni uko at a higher peak in your career. I mean, in your studies, yeah?
Yeah, for sure.
So, anakam, mnaiko kwa studio mfanye camera operations mse mtu anashangaa mnadu nini na you know when it comes to like art and whatever we are doing right, media, it's all about practical. Hakuna mtu atakwambia kwa ati what is a sasa hakuna mtu anaweza what is a condenser mic. It's me to know what so I get you completely.
Yeah, so yeah, of course. So cameras was one of the things I'd think about and go, yeah, hiyo pesa sijui tutatoa wapi, lakini inshallah tuende nayo. So yeah, just I think you ilikuwa learning moment for, especially when you have kids, when it gets to points where they actually feel they need to change a huge decision in their lives. As much as a parent, you'll always want to push back because based on your experience, some of your knowledge of the world in general, you might want to be biased towards something.
Yes.
But I think what she taught me, ni kunipea the tools is if you make this decision, so if you're making that bed, you're going to lie on it, and it might not be a comfortable bed. So before you make that bed, do your research, sit, think through. Who do you want to talk to? I can help you talk to this person, just for you to have a broad idea of what decision you're going into.
Yeah, that's quite good. Coming from you, do you think that looking back, you made the right decision?
Oh, 100%. 100%. In the heat of the moment, or a month, 2 months after making a decision, it always feels like the wrong decision. Just because the bigger picture still hasn't. There's always the analogy of a cloud, right?
Yes.
If kuna cloud hapa inanyesha, you know how ako kanimbus kamejaa kananyesha hapa, sindio? When you're here for you kwako, this is a rainy period. But someone if it's a flat land, someone who's 50 kilometers away, au kwa juu anaangalia kale ka cloud kako pale, ananiaje by the way unajua, lakini kuna ka cloud fulani kaendelea hapo. Wewe ukiwa kwa cloud, you can see something. It's the only thing you're seeing. Kwa hiyo cloud, juu uko ndani ya cloud.
Yes.
The farther away you start getting away from the cloud, unaanza kurealize ni ka cloud tu kadogo. It was just a passing thing. Yeah. But when you're in it feels like that is everything, right?
Yes,
so same as decisions. So if I regret,
a good thing.
That's for me, analogy yangu ya life inakonga hiyo. Every single moment na yona kama ka cloud, be it a good thing or a bad thing, it's like a cloud, and it's not the entire sky. That cloud is still going to drift. So
beautiful.
Whether you're going to make use of that cloud or whether you're going to fend for yourself within that cloud, it's a decision to make. So zero regrets. Every single decision, every single failure I've had, every single mistake, every single time I've almost been sued and stuff like
Oh
that.
my God.
Right? I always see it as, if I didn't get to that step, the next step would have been probably our step, right? If I
Yes.
never went through something, I wouldn't have. There's so many things, Mujambia. If someone told me Vilotu would regret, I wish I knew this when I was 20 years old, I don't think it would have changed anything.
Yes.
Even if you knew at that point, thing is, until you go through something and experience the full width of it, there's no information or lesson someone can give you. Mtu angeniambia 20 years ago kuhusu ni muhimu kusave ni nini, that is all information.
Yes.
That is the words unaniambia.
Yes.
Until you're in a situation where you realize, oh yeah, maybe that would have that would have helped. That's when the full realization comes to you. So just by someone telling you will never be enough. So you have to keep making the mistakes, Zote. You have to keep making them. Because no one, there's not a single phrase or a line. Doesn't matter from it's a person you trust or a person you adore. There's no single line that will teach you better than actual experience. So you have to go through it. You have
Nice. So when you shifted now to cinematography and film production full time, I know the experience was, hey, of course, first 2 months, msiana feeling, did I make the right decision? Was I in the... my mom was right, ama...
Yeah, lazima.
That heated moment between you, heated argument between yourself and yourself, you know?
Kujita
mkutano. So at that moment, do you feel like even giving up and saying, you know what, I can go back to my IT because it was way simpler and, you know?
So I'll quit that to... For me, it didn't happen at that point. So just for context, so went through campus, finally a campus, got an opportunity for internship. So there's a production house, Pan-African production house that was given space in our campus to set up their own studio, their own production house, and then in turn they'd take in some of the interns and train them and stuff like that, right? So I got an opportunity for internship kwa hiyo company. This was 2 semesters before I finished, right? So went through the internship, maliza the internship. After the internship was over, they mailed me wakisema they would love to keep me on, especially kwa hiyo, because I'd gone into the documentary department. They'd love to keep me on regardless of how my schedule would be. So if I'm in school and I'm in school for 2-3 days in a week, could you be coming in for the other 2 days?
Wow.
So started building from opposite. So when I finished campus, straight into your employment. So I never, for me nasemanga, I never even got to tarmac to figure out the job industry, because for me it was straight from campus to you.
Yeah.
For the bruv, I used to be paid 12,000 per month. Even before tax.
Let's sip on that. Wait, can I tell you how much?
I'm sipping for pain.
But I mean, I sip for pain. Kwani, what are we sipping? 12.
So the moment of questioning for me came. So end of 2019, nikaanza kufeel nimefika mahali, and it was such a lovely journey kwa your production house, because the fact that it was Pan-African, it means I got to travel a lot outside the country. So because we were doing fully African stories with kina, if you're familiar na kina Salim who the Muamin son. Your time kulikuwa na the Muamin Foundation, camera picks. So I got to learn under like some of the best professionals that you can ever want. So in that aspect, I was lucky. Regardless of Nilikua nalipwa, the travel opportunities I had, the projects I got to work with, the global clients I got to work with. So to me, that was such an adventure. Nasemanga hiyo ndio imeni build whatever
you exposure
style and craft. You exposure
use the
did
first word,
everything.
yes, exposure.
You exposure did everything. So end of 2019, nikaanza kufeel okay, maybe this is not for me for the long term, especially being within this space, because I'd never ventured into actual filmmaking. So but within your period, ilikuwa documentaries for clients, TVCs, some corporate videos, but not, for example, the fiction side of filmmaking, the entire film space, how it works.
Yes.
Up to 2019, I'd never branched off. So 2019 I resign juu nataka ku freelance. That's 2019 December, right? Nishaji set up, no plan, no clients, nini.
And remember, 2020 the COVID.
Yeah,
And no one knew.
That's what I made it too. So end 2019, India Jan 2020, applied for a loan ya kubuy gear, ya kubuy equipment. Sasa tunajiset up freelancing. Chale, wacha nikunywe kwanza. Because
I was telling myself kama 2019 all of us could have known that COVID itatufanya hivyo kwanza wasanii.
But and the funny thing is I don't think I'd have changed anything. And to be honest, so here's I saw see loan, chukua gear, anza kujiset up, start reaching out to clients nini. A couple of months in, pop, lockdown ndio imeanza. Aya, Obra amenunua gear. Okay, amenunua gear na loan. Jua shughuli itajipa lazima atalipa. COVID imeingia, hakuna clients, hakuna kwenda mahali. Uko na loan na kungoja monthly, niko na camera gear imelala hapo na haiwezi do kitu. My friend, anza sasa kufikiria, okay, what do you do? Because sijai sao there's this one day and niliji question nilikuwa natoka from kwa Faris Town. Nikatoka kwa Faris Town.
Shout out to Faris. Umesaidia wasanii.
Mbaya.
Kama tunatetanga umetusaidia.
Nilikuwa natoka kwa Faris Town, nilikuwa natoka kuchukua lens. So si niko na camera, niko na body, niko na nini, but kwa lens specifically niko na hitaji. So at least ninaona kuna kahopata kama kuna lockdown, kuna client anataka tumshutie, alikuwa anataka straight to camera nini, at least alhamdulillah. Nikiwa kwa Ma3 Langata Road na messenger client, unfortunately hatuwezi go forward na issues doing nini. So I think that's when everything came rushing back. Hiyo frustration hii ndio nilikuwa najua kile sasa katika moment huu ndapata do kiasi rent, ndapata nini, at least nijisukume akoka hope. So umetoka kwa period ya dryness, you don't even think anything is going to give. Client mmoja aka reach out, so kuna ka light at the end of the day. Unajua hakuna kitu mbaya kama kukuwa hopeless alafu build through that entire period up to the end.
Yes,
but now when you're hopeless alafu pateka hope fulani ka light pale, time unakimbia kila kufika kwa light kafungike. I think that one shatters you even
more.
Yeah, so I think that entire journey nisema hata niko na opportunity nishuke Ma3 sasa ndio tuko Faris nimwambie shika vitu yako bro, huku niko noma. But I think nilijipata tu nimekaa nikaenda mpaka home, thought about a couple of stuff. Was this the correct decision? First of all, going out into freelancing, because I could see the company had left. My peers, my friends were still in the company, and as much as they were not being paid mshahara vile ingefaa juu hata employer alikuja kwa manager because of this and this what's going on, I won't let you guys go, but nitareduce mshahara kiasi, so at least you know there's something at the end of the month. Like, so should I have stayed? Was this a bad decision? Did I not think this through? Because me resigning was both ile feel I need to step to the next step, but also some issues within the working space, right? So did I make the jump too quick? Should I have held on kwanza nijiset vizuri nini? So yeah, so your moment ya question for me came at that point here now, after I quit and started freelancing, and then everything dried up. And in hindsight, I think if any opportunity for employment came back at that point, I feel ningirukia vibaya sana. Out of your desperation out of your just survival instinct, right? I would have. But now, looking back, if I had given up nijump either to employment ama nisemeta nimeta na cinema, wacha niingie ukulima ama something, this would be a very different person. So for me, regret, I always let myself regret in that moment, but najiambianga regret isiende into a decision.
Yes.
Like I won't let me regret now, let me boil and simmer within my regret right now, but I won't make a decision from it. I'll give myself time to fast regret.
Yes.
Then when everything is clear now let me start making decisions. So that's what I did pretty much.
What? That is quite
tough times.
Tough story, man.
Tough times.
Let's stick on that.
Yeah.
But you're so strong.
Yeah.
Imagine uko hapa hivi ndio unaelekea kufanya kazi and then someone tells you
there's nothing. If I'd gone through COVID from day one nikijua kuna majobs zinakuja and we went like that for a year, I think daily you're building your resilience, but the minute you have a very slight glimmer of hope, you channel your energies, your faith, your hope, your push, your desire, you're pushing it to that. So when you head towards that alafu ako kalight kakatiwe off, I think you're back double the steps that you were before.
Okay, yeah. Nice. So moving on forward, najua of course kulikuwa na hiyo time yenye ulikaa chini ukaenda home, just reflecting on yourself. Did I make the right decision? Who am I? Why did I venture into freelancing? So there's someone who's probably watching outside there and they are in tough condition, maybe dilemma ile like, hey, should I freelance? Because most of the time when it comes to media, tuko na hiyo issue, can I freelance or should I maintain the job? Talk about that.
So anyone who finds themselves in a situation where they need to make, I'll even put it widely, a life choice, be it career, be it relationship, be it whatever. If you're in that dilemma, for me the dilemma had been whether do I continue with employment, do I jump to freelancing, right? And it all boils down to your reasons and how brutally honest have you been with yourself first and with those reasons. I want to leave employment. Why? Bad boss. Okay, so does that mean if the boss was different, if I go to a different company, then will employment be a good thing for me, right?
Okay.
You have to be brutally honest. Or are you the problem? Maybe systems at your company are not working for you. So is it about jumping to a different company? That's honesty. Number 2, is it about you need more freedom to your structures? That's why you want to freelance. You want to try a couple more of genres of film. You want to curate your own narrative, your own style, you have to be brutally honest. And you also have to be brutally honest with the fail side of it. So if I go to freelance, I won't have my monthly salary.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Am I set up for that? And when the niingie will hit the fan.
But what I came to find out is most people don't know that actually freelancing doesn't guarantee you payment every day.
Oh, not one bit.
And sometimes you can be at 0 shillings, which is the truth. Hata huwezi lipa mat. But the next day, 200,000 inaweza ingia kwa account and you're a millionaire.
Easily.
So freelancing is
freelancing for.
It's like betting.
It is a gamble, 100%.
Yes.
It is a gamble. You'll have months where you can even rake in a meter or something.
Yes.
And you'll have another 4-5 months where not even one gig will come through, right? So how do you map yourself out? So at that point of dilemma, for me, I think it's just being brutally honest with, first of all, why your whys.
Okay.
And the how. If you're honest with your why you want to make this switch, or why this switch looks like something worthwhile, if you're brutally honest with that first, and then go forward to the how is this going to work out on either sides? Yeah, you will have to. It's going to be 70%. I think 70% plan and starts and things that have been proven to work. Okay. So you're going to be working off experiences of others. 70%, and you make your decision. 30% will always be a risk. There's nothing that won't have a risk. You might want to change that employer to even a better paying company, but it is still a risk. So what if that company is worse? What if the jobs you're doing won't be as exciting or challenging?
Yes.
What if you stagnate? What if you go to a company and stagnate, right? There's always the aspect of 30% risk. It's about sit down, GMBA, this 30% risk, what is my payoff? Will it, if everything goes to plan, is the payoff worth me taking this risk?
Okay.
It has to be a very honest conversation.
Beautiful. So talk about, unajua, when it comes to cinematography and you as a photographer, kuna kuanga na equipment maintenance na pia the payment for the equipment. Talk about it, because I know they are not cheap. Someone is watching, they want to be a dope photographer, so talk to them.
Okay. Are we allowed to curse on this? No?
Yes.
So,
but you can. Me, I'm not allowed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bro, if you ever pick up your phone and ask a creative to work for you for free,
shame on you.
First of all, shame on you.
Shame on you, first of all.
Shame on you. And I I will quantify what free means to me, right? So there was this I sat on a round table with a couple of directors, producers, and it was Pan-African sort of conversation, right?
Okay,
There were directors from SA, from Nigeria, and we know how their industries are better than us as an industry.
For sure.
Because funny bit, just a segue, most of the film projects being done across Africa, especially by a global entity.
Okay.
So someone coming from the West, from whatever continent to Africa to shoot something, I can guarantee you, crew, when they start looking for crew, more than 50% are going to be Kenyan. Kenya has the best crewmen and women that exist in the continent.
Shout out to us.
Oof, I kid you not.
Yes.
So it's about now. So this is what pisses me off. Then if we are at that point, so what are we doing wrong with our industry? Because this is about individual skill set.
Yes.
Individual skill set really shines. As a Kenyan, individual skill set really shines across the continent.
Equally.
But as a collective, we have a lot of work to do.
But I think I tend to think that's not it's not a crew's problem.
Yeah,
considering what I'm looking at right now, we have good actors, we have good crew members.
Extremely.
But shida inakuanga huko juu. It's normally not.
It's the systems. The systems we still haven't been able to come up with a system that works.
Yes.
That is unfortunate.
Let's move forward. It's okay.
So there's something I learned that I've been using ever since, and this was 2023, I think. So this South African producer told us a trick she uses a lot. If someone approaches me and either wants me to do something for them at a very low price, or at times even for free, with the exposure that most of these people usually talk about. So I will always sit and say, my payment from any project is not stuck to currency. Is not to the currency is not only money for me, right? Okay, so if I'm coming to do this project with you, first of all, am I going to walk out of that project having learned something new? So maybe within your project, you're using camera gear that I've never touched in my entire life, right? So that gives me a chance to work with this camera gear and understand.
Yes.
I'm going to work with the dopest actors. I'm going to work with the dopest script, stuff I can use in my portfolio. To me, that is payment.
Yes.
That is a currency, right? It's me to sit and gauge. Kwa list yangu ya payments, the finance, the money bit, that's not adding up. But the fact that I'll introduce myself to
a new lens,
to your market, even to your market. So the people who usually say, "Oh, nitaku mention kwa followers zangu na nini," it's always very very insulting when you put it that way. But if you can sit and think about it, it's about, if I have 17K followers, you have 100 and something followers.
Yes.
If I can be able to branch my work to your market, to your audience, then that's something as well, right?
Yes.
So what she was saying was, every time someone calls her at maybe half the price, 20% price, ikifika time ya kutuma invoice, she writes her actual rate. So if that gig should have charged 500K for the gig, and you want to pay her 150K, she's done her math and said, okay, the money is crap, but I'm building a new audience. I'm working with this set designer I've always wanted to work with, right? This is a new style of things I will use in my portfolio. So these two are enough for me to get on the project.
Yes.
But when it comes to invoicing, I'll invoice you for 500K, and then pale chini I'll write discounted to 150K. What that does, you will understand as a client, first of all, that one up there, that's my worth. The next time you wish to call me for a gig because you've seen this one, nimekuja nimeua, you've loved my work, right? The next time you pick up the phone to call me, you'll remember what my worth is up there.
Yes.
So I came in at a point of, I'm introducing myself to you. I'm creating a work relationship, right? The second time, I have nothing to create, like there's no working relationship. We've done that.
Yes.
You've plugged me to your audience. We've done that, right?
But that's quite, let me say, it's quite a genius. I'll say that.
It is. Oh my God.
You're showing someone, in as much as you paid me this,
don't forget what my worth is.
Yes, this is my worth.
Don't forget. The next time you pick up the phone, let's not start the conversation from there. You know you know what my worth is.
Ooh.
Right? So it's, and I think I've even segued from what your question was. Your question was about what was your question? I think
no. We were talking about something you're touching on something related to Pan African and how you've worked and how she said that 50% when they want to call people for projects, they're calling 50% Kenyans, like 50% crew members ndo wazuri. Like Kenyans have good crew members.
Have the best.
Kenyans
have the best. Yeah. And I think we're also building it up from camera equipment and expenses coming into the field of work, right? So when you call someone and tell them you're paying them by exposure, that's always an insult, because the amount of investing someone has done, first of all, very materialistically in terms of purchasing equipment.
Yes.
Equipment is expensive. Oh my god. Equipment is hiyo ni shamba. You always look at someone's camera gear and go, this person would have been very comfortable getting themselves an S-Class, an Audi, some quarter mile Indigo or something, comfortably. But this is what they chose, right? Film equipment is very expensive. But, and we spoke about Faris.
Yes.
We spoke about Faris
Yes.
at some point.
Yes.
I don't think many people appreciate or understand what Faris has done. Faris and his team, what they've done for the industry, people do. I don't think people fully understand, because, and I'll give you a scenario, right? You buy your own camera, Sony FX3, Canon 5D, something that you're always using for your shoots, right? At no point, if a rental agency like what Faris has never existed, at what point, especially you growing up into the industry, when would you have handled an Ari Alexa, a Red Dragon, a Panavision Digital 2? At what point, right?
No point.
Not possible. And because two things, you cannot afford to purchase your own camera of that magnitude, right? And number two, there's very little clients that will want to risk with you, especially when you ujai a Red Dragon. There's no big client anashoot na Red atakuja kwambia wewe kama ujaribu hii tutakulipa kama ujaribu. It's a very rare occurrence, right? But what having an intermediary like akina Faris, what that does, you get to experiment. Useme leo, by the way, wacha ni up budget yangu, because I'm also trying to learn this camera
and also do
let me up
quality
my budget
work
and also output quality work. That's the other thing, right? So for the industry, for camera, for people who love cameras and stuff like that, what that does, you grow as a person by getting to use a camera like that, because you've paid for it for the day, right? But also now that in turn changes the entire outlook at the clients, because itakuwa ule msali kuja hapa last time alitushutia na Red, wewe mbona unakuja na Nikon fulani hapa manze, you get it, it already ups the client's game. It already ups the quality and the standard that they're trying to reach. Netflix always washutia with any camera, right? There's a predetermined list. Right? And whatever
Netflix kwanza inataka a lot of, because you normally have a lot of downtime when you're shooting a Netflix project. So the setup kina Moha, shout out. Hey, those guys are doing amazing.
It's exactly that standard. So until we collectively, so all of these parties are working collectively to make sure the industry grows. Right? And it's why I'm very hopeful about the industry we are in. It is growing, and not by virtue of support by a government, because it's almost non-existent.
Oh my god.
It's almost non-existent.
It's never there.
It's honestly never there.
Honestly.
So the fact that it's growing by virtue of nimekuja kwa podcast yako, right? Wewe ukuje kwa film yangu next, ndio upatane na mtu mwingine pia hapo, mmecollab, mmedu kitu fulani. So the industry is growing by virtue of that,
of collaboration.
And now when you bring in the industry players, so people from the crew side, people from the actor side, be it content creators, and now parties kama kina Faris who are renting equipment, parties like people with locations who are willing, kina film studios, locations kina mahoteli na nini, who are willing to say ni aje, sawa nyinyi mko na project, sawa nyinyi kama ni mshoot hapa, bora mkitoka tupigeni picha 4-5 itatusaidia kujimarket. It's a win-win. It becomes a win for everyone. So I think hapo ndio faith yangu for the industry is.
Nice. I love this. I love that. So basically what we're trying to tell people is, before you freelance, before you do anything, just know kwanza equipment ni expensive. And whatever you're venturing into needs you to up your skills every day. Let's talk about cinematography and camera angles. Me looking at right now, I feel like we've so evolved when it comes to cinematography. But right now, we are not doing cinematography anymore. We are doing cinematography as a form of storytelling. Let's delve into that.
Yeah, that's a deep question. At end, in form of storytelling. So if someone sat me down and asked me, I began Nilingia internship. No, the full confirmation for that production house was in 2016. So ideally, I'm almost going to my 10th year in the industry right now. Next year. And that's yeah.
Mkongwe.
Hey.
A decade.
Hii nywele yao iti si choka ati nimejipaka mahali nikikuja uzee my guy uzee
imekuja by force.
By
40
Silver Fox hiyo mambo tatana. So if someone sat me down and asked me to point to one of my biggest learnings in cinematography, so because I see myself as in general a storyteller, so I'm a cinematographer, I'm a director, I'm a writer, so all of that I consider as filmmaking, right?
Yes.
But if I boil down to cinematography and someone asks me my greatest learning is that your best shot is never the best shot for the film. Ooh. It's never. If at the end of a film that people have watched, they come to you as a cinematographer and tell you, "Hey bro, zile shots ulipiga pale, kwanza ile shot hivi na hivi, easily shot ni deadly." Be happy that you did something, but also be very scared. As a cinematographer, first of all, story is king. Story has to be king. So the minute someone feels that is a camera angle or a camera shot, you might have failed in your duty, ideally. Your job, yeah, it takes learning. So, and this is something with vitu kama music videos, killer shot kali, yo, that's what you need to do. That's what you need to do. With storytelling, everything needs to fit together so perfectly that someone buys into the lie that this is real life. The minute mtu ameona a camera shot, a camera angle that's really deadly, then they remember this is a film. And you might have failed in your job. Because your job is to make sure from minute one, a person is so immersed into the story world, into the world of the character, into the world of the story. They're so immersed, they don't realize there's any camera around them. That's supposed to be your job. So and it took beautiful. It's so counterintuitive because sababu you want every shot to be like proper, deadly, framing, angle, umeka nini kwa hiyo shot, your camera imemuvaje, right? But you start to realize when you start to think of when someone watches this, how will they feel?
How?
If right now, and I'll give you an example, right? Niko na camera hapa. We are having a conversation about football. Tunaongea kuhusu CHAN.
Yes.
And then this camera niko hapa, hiyo shot yako, it starts slowly creeping into Syria yako, into your face.
Into my face.
A proper tight shot.
Yes.
Someone who's watching and not hearing anything, they'll start to think, oh yeah, either tunaingia kwa akili yake, she's about to give us a secret or something, she's about to reveal something. Sasa hiyo si tunasema game ni sangapi? Like that is a pointless shot. That becomes a very pointless shot.
Thank you.
What have you done? What have you told? If someone muted the film and only watched your visuals, what feeling are they getting from your shot, right? So just understanding the best looking shots at times are the worst for the story.
Yes.
You start kujitoa from unataka kushine as the DP, unataka kila mtu a comment. You start to think if people watch this film and go, oh my god, hiyo cinema ilikuwa kali, uliona hiyo story world yao, characters walido nini, actors walideliver lines zao aje. So yes, that's the other thing. You're an actor, right?
Yes.
If someone comes to you and says, ile movie fulani, uliact fiti mbaya, sometimes it can be a good thing, it can be a bad thing.
Most of the time
it's a bad thing.
Yes.
Because it means they saw you acting.
Yes.
And you've already failed.
Yes.
Someone is supposed to be fully immersed.
What I learned when it comes to acting, it's quite the same thing. When someone comes to you and akusalimi, when they start relating to you immediately, you know you've achieved as an actor because they're relating to you on the screen. They know, ile character I play, she was talking to her friends like this, she was vibrant.
Kabisa,
So when they
kabisa.
relate to you like that, you feel nice. When they come with the assumption wanakuogopa pia, you know, job yako imefika because
Yeah.
kama mimi ukuanga mkali kwa screen,
They-
so
they-
you know
they bought into
they feel
it,
like
yes.
they bought into it.
Uh-huh.
But when I feel like when someone comes to me and says, Kasi, me feeling so scared because I feel like, am I doing the
because
right
if you,
thing?
because
Because maybe they
if
saw
you
me
me
acting, but not executing the role.
we
There's
have a
there's
problem.
a difference between
so
it.
if they saw Amina and did not see, let's say, character name yako ni Njoki, if they saw
Njoki.
Amina, that's a problem. If they completely believed you were Njoki, then that's what you're here for. So I think with cinematography and
Voila.
storytelling, with cinematography and storytelling, that to me has to be my biggest learning. I moved from, I want every shot to be money.
Money.
You know, money shot. Now, does it have the story or not?
Let's jump into now the video that you did in 2024, the Mandamano video. I feel like that's when it sparked on me that huyu kijana wangu bana, huyu kijana wangu anafanya mambo safi pale, you know? Yeah.
Sugar.
What? Let me just, before even you say anything, hiyo siku nataka uniambie venye uliamka, how you were feeling.
Because that's
and
where
then
the story
what
is.
made you manze execute that? Because
That's where the story is.
that was beautiful.
And to be honest, I wish, and it I'm sure so many people relate with, especially creatives. I wish 2024, 2025 I was making films about car chases, money heist.
Yeah.
Like I wish I was making film that I've always dreamt of making.
Yes.
But the fact that we are now proper activists, we are mostly doing art for activism.
Yes.
I wouldn't say it's a bad thing, because it's a duty, it's a responsibility. But in an ideal world, we're supposed to be telling very different stories. And I wish I was shooting things that were not bodies lying, bullets. I wish I was shooting something very different, right?
Yes.
But so very funny story again with 25th of June, and I'll take it back to 18th and is it 20th? Yeah, 20th ama 21st. 18th was the first protest.
Yes.
Yenye watu walitokea. That one I was there. No camera, no nothing. Mimi nimeenda maandamano, nimeenda kuprotest. Then the Thursday after the first Tuesday, hiyo ndio ile sasa, that was the bigger one when now we lost Rex. That was the first one that had proper numbers.
Yeah.
Watu wali show up na ma speakers na nini, watu walikuwa wanapiga muziki kwa streets. Mbaya. Proper. Again, no camera, right? Hiyo nakumbuka, I was there till kido 12:31. Then I checked. Yeah, Friday. So, again, back to what happened in COVID. Maandamano ikiwa Tuesday, as of Monday evening and Tuesday morning, I was trying to sell off my camera. Like proper, like bro. So I had a willing buyer alikuwa anapaswa kukuja Tuesday morning. Alikuwa anataka kuja kuangalia camera.
Why were you selling the camera?
No jobs, no nothing. So niko na camera hapo what with 5,000 USD imekaa tu hapo. But siko sure niko na rent ya next month. Siko sure niko na fare, you get.
Yes.
So it's an asset. So for me at that point, nilikuwa na try kui offset. Like I need to survive. And I think part of the reason why I was even in the protest in the first place, bila the camera, was because of that. Nilikuwa na feel this system is not working for me at all. Like something is wrong. And the fact that you're already telling me you want to up a new tax or something of that sort, tayari I'm barely surviving. That's pissing me off tayari.
Yes,
so that by itself, that was the first reason why I was out in the street bila hata camera. So Monday evening, Tuesday, I'm trying to liaise na ujama, hey bro, niaje? Ulikuja kuangalia kamera nini? That was Monday. Tuesday asubuhi, yeah, so wacha napitia. Then after an hour, he calls and says, oh yeah, nimesahau kuna maandamano leo haitakuwa possible due ya access. So niko hapo niko like, oh yeah, na because this was like the fourth buyer mwenye nilikuwa nime-approach. So I'm like, it's the same thing too. And jamaa anajaribu kudak. So I'm like, okay, so I'm in the house. Niko na 600 kwa mfuko. Yeah, what do we do? Kuna maandamano leo, twende maandamano. But wait, niko na camera. I could just take the camera and see what I could get from it. Sindio, yeah. Since I've already shown up as a protester, let me try now as a storyteller and see if there's something I can do. So ideally, while I was very frustrated and upset that this buyer mwenye kwangu alikuwa like ni kama savior, huyu jamaa analetea pesa finally. The fact that this person was not showing up, I was frustrated. Just so what next at that point? But a year on, I think about if that person had showed up the evening before or the morning before, singewitwa kwa nyumba na camera, I wouldn't have done anything for the protest, right? So it's crazy how things work. So Tuesday morning he cancels. Salim camera picks is still a friend of mine. We were for Nani's son Muamin.
Yes.
So and I remember him mentioning if I think I might be covering the protest, and I need gear, especially the protective gear, the bulletproof, the helmet, the nini, you just pass by. Just pass by and pick. And like, yeah, it's an easy Tuesday. Kuna maandamano kwa streets. I'm just here. There's nothing I'm doing.
Now this is the big mandamano that we normally have on that.
This is the 25th Parliament Day.
After now Rex
was killed on the Thursday the week before. Now this is so now everyone is proper pissed. And then I remember the same day, the MPs were voting on that same Tuesday.
Okay.
So there was all the impetus
to reject. I remember finance bill. Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I did. I just showed up, and I always say I had two halves of that day. The first half was actually seeing watu na hizo posters, wase wayang, dem ni leng mbaya, like proper unajua huu ni Kilimani Kileshwa nini, unajua tu vizuri, like these are people in our experience they had no business being out on the streets at for protest.
Yes.
Cool kids wanafanya nini kwa street. Hii protest ni ya watu ODM bana, ni ya watu wa Kibera na nini.
The time it used to be
yeah,
ODM.
Exactly. Yeah. So the more I was shooting and meeting people that go against the stereotype of what protests look like, the more I'm like, oh yeah, then this is something. This right here is history in the making, right? This is such a turning point.
Yes.
That was the first half of the day, just seeing people genuinely being in the street. Haujapewa script to some this is why we're here. No, you're here because you actually feel this is what you need.
Yes.
So that moment of gloom, that moment of brightness, of faith in a generation like that, right?
Yes.
And then I think turning point for me, so tear gas na nini, so it wasn't my first protest cover.
Yes.
So protest, tear gas na the sounds, at least I was kidogo used to. But I think the moment was it Erickson who mwenye brain yake ilienda to the floor hapo nje ya parliament.
Yeah, I remember.
I'm remember whether it was Erickson ama new. Yeah.
Shieni, well, the one was shot after people nini walitoka parliament ama wakiingia.
So huyo ilikuwa pale kwa fence. There is one alikuwa pale kwa
alikuwa amekewa na amekewa bendera ya Kenya. Why do you keep on forgetting his name?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who.
I'm so sorry, I forgot his name, but kuna vile ilikuwa ina click.
I think for me
he was a mwalimu or something. Mwenye kichwa chake ilikuwa chini kwa ground. The first person that was shot akiingia parliament.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember who you're talking about. Okay.
So I think for kuona wasi wanatembea over brains za mtu, I think to me hiyo ndio ilikuwa okay, wait, what's happening, right? That moment of everything, uko adrenaline, uko happy, uko energy, unatan kila mahali kushoot, you get. But I think when that point happened and you start to realize life as just a car object that can be tipped over and that's the end. Because najiuliza, if I look through footage zangu, huyu jamaa si ule pale alikuwa na either poster, ule jamaa si alikuwa anakimbia hapa, huyu alikuwa na wale wase. Seconds after, this person ana have kufungwa na ma flags za Kenya na kubebwa, right? The realization of what just happened, I think kwangu ilitoka just from seeing that body on the floor. That was, ilikuwa turning point yangu ya what the day. So that's when I think I had two halves. Because everything after Apple was, now I've gone from I came here for fun na camera, let me capture, let me document what I can. The minute I saw that ndio hit, now the camera has to be something else. It has to be a tool for something else.
Yes.
If this is happening, if someone has just lost their life because wanasema hawataki utax land yao anymore, hawataki kuhave kulipia kuku on TikTok, if that is enough reason for you to kill someone, then all of us we have a responsibility to play. And my what I can bring to the table would be my camera. So let me use that. So I think after your point, it became now more of journalistic job than now just shooting out in the streets.
Did you have that those reflectors imeandikwa press ama you're doing it as a civilian?
No, so mine wasn't written press, but from afar you could tell I was, because it was the bulletproof vest and a helmet. Like you could tell, as much as C branded, you could tell this is proper press.
Yes,
This
yes.
is a proper press, which helped because sababu it also helped me with access. So we've been having convos about how people cover protests, especially with this new age, right?
Yes.
Watu wanna show up and I'm like, hey man, I worry a lot to go in the middle of fire and tear gas and nini flashbangs and nini, and someone is kwa phone na TikTok akiambia watu what tap, right? To when you go to any protest sahi, most people wako na phones nyuma yako wakisonga na wewe na the kastika nini, which is amazing because it's shifted the role of journalism just from a
TV.
select company.
Yes.
Whatever they say goes. Like journalism.
Even when they switched off the TV stations, we could
there was honestly,
and, you know, yes.
The effect, I think them switching off the TVs, it's what everyone did. Si kila mtu ndo alikimbia socials vizuri, hata wenye hawakuwa socials. So in this point and age, I think that was pointless. So
yeah,
just seeing guys covering protests behind us na nini wakienda, me being fully dressed ilikuwa inanisaidia with access. I'd go to places karao wako, I'd go to places protesters wako, just by virtue of being dressed, right? Yes. So yeah, that's I think it's also a conversation that we need to have, especially with filmmaking, content creating na nini, because I'd always see I'd have kutoka from job yangu at some point, like I'm proper focused on what am I trying to capture. I have to ask someone yaje, I don't think this is safe, either Rudy said Niko ama do this other thing. You can young into fulani ako TikTok anaambia watu wa tap, they're just excited to shoot,
to see the police, and the police are shooting to kill, you know,
the danger of it, especially if this is not training you've had, if this is not something you've experienced before, the danger of it, because uko kwa hiyo adrenaline rush, the danger of it can be worse than someone who's actually protesting. The fact that you're not aware of surrounding yako, because that's what most of them do. So that's why we were saying when we had a meeting Juicy with people who, like a group therapy session of people who were covering the protest na nini, those are some of the things we were saying. If we can be able to, even if just from our own social media accounts na nini, just shooting instructions and like advices on if you're looking to cover protests,
kindly
what
do that.
You do?
Yeah,
no, that's definitely the plan. That's the plan. So yeah, in a nutshell, that was my 25th. So whatever I shot on the 25th, in my opinion, I did not remember any of it until I sat down for edit suit. The heat of the moment, the adrenaline, you're running, you're rushing, you're trying to be safe, you're trying to watch your surroundings. Sometimes you don't get the full glory of what you've actually captured until you sit and start going through. By the time I was leaving that place, I didn't think it had affected me until I sat now to watch the cuts and to watch the footage and start making the cuts.
Yes.
That's when you realize,
yeah, it affects you.
Yeah, mbaya.
So mentally, how do you, because most of the cameramen, most of the cinematographers who covered the COVID and not, because kuna a lot of stories around.
Yeah.
Mentally, how do you deroll? Because you need a lot of also mental care because of the kind of stories that you guys need covering. Yes.
One of two is kudirol ni mbinguni. Yeah, no. To be honest, I think we've mostly done that. We've mostly done that. But recently, a friend of mine, Komu, Victoria Komu.
Yeah, I know Komu.
Yeah. So through her and people like Baraza Media Lab and Nini, so they set up this sort of group therapy where if I go home and talk to my mother, to my partner, my Nini about the protest, it's me offloading mainly, right? Telling them what I've seen and it helps.
Yes.
But there's another layer of if you're sharing these stories with someone who was actually shooting in the streets with you, this is an extra layer. You relate on a much more deeper level, right? So having that group therapy session where you share, this is what I felt, this is why I'm at, these are my triggers currently, this is what that I think that was a perfect setup, and I wish anyone, including protesters, including protesters because there's people who just went through like proper trauma with the
Yes,
protest,
true.
or people who were seeing cops shooting outside their houses. The amount of trauma that beats from that is just crazy.
Since that day, me when I see cops, Nico, you have
and
that.
It's a very bad place to be.
Mentally, yeah.
Seeing a police force and you're either scared or you're just full of bile and bitterness. It's a very bad and dangerous place to be, and I feel we are there. That's the problem.
There's some things which you can't control in film. Talk about wase wakibio maandamano, what you see, on a record too. Like, you can't. Kuna vitu huwezi ingilia.
And I'll give you the analogy of, again, because I feel Muamin has structured a lot of, or rather has influenced how I do documentary work, especially.
Yes.
And we always talk about the story of, so if you're familiar with Muamin's work, he's the one who broke the news about the Ethiopian famine. The one that was killing almost a million. Today. Yes, you should. You should.
I'm a fan of docus. Yeah, so
he's the one who broke.
He's called Muamin what?
He's called Mohammed Amin.
Mohammed Amin.
Mohammed Amin. Yeah, he's practically Kenyan. Just for context, I think they have the biggest archive of African politics and history at camera picks, and they have the old cameras, the old tapes, the old, as in it's a proper bank of African history. Yeah. So when he was covering the Ethiopian famine, and when I got to watch the film, you look at the people dying in front of camera, the mtu anatoshana assistant, right? And you have to, and they're in tears, they have their kids next to them.
I've watched that docu.
Yes, you must
Ethiopian
have. You must have. Yeah,
yes, I've watched it. I won't lie. I'm going to try tena for the purpose of him.
So in case you don't know, the song, you remember, We Are the World, we are the children. That song, the artists who came together, Kina MJ, Kina, the big names, Kina Whitney, Kina Nani, they came together after seeing that documentary. After it broke on BBC broke the news about the famine with proper pictures and footage now from Mohammed Amin. Nice. That's how the world knew about the hunger in Ethiopia. And through that, artists got together, made the song. There was aid being sent. So I always go back to the moment when I'm seeing the footage he took, the pictures he took. I always ask myself, if I'm in that situation, would I put my camera down because it is breaking me down kabisa? Like you have your camera in the face of someone who has probably another 30 minutes to live, right?
Yeah.
With their kid next to them. Do I think I'd be strong enough to go through and just keep shooting and keep shooting and keep shooting and not, like, if I put my camera down nipeu mtu moja maji, there is 900,000 more in the line waiting for that same. So will I have an impact, right?
Yeah.
So, and how he always he passed, so Muamin died, but the son Salim Amin is the one now running the entire. So how Salim especially talks about the dad, it was about, in that moment you have to make a decision of how best are you impactful. I can put this camera down and give this person water, then I won't have any more water to give the 900,000, right?
Nice.
But if I don't put my camera down and properly document the pain and the death that is happening here, and make a cut from this and send them to millions out in the world, then they have a chance for impact. If they see that and the artists get together and make money and bring aid, so if I'd put my camera down to serve this one person with water, I'd have lost the opportunity to feed the million with more water just because of my story going out to them, right? So I think when you're in the street as a documentary storyteller, especially as a documentary storyteller, you will have instances where you'll either have to put your humanity aside for a bigger cause, right? Or you'll have to get to a point where you'll make a decision. Is my impact worth putting my camera down and just going into this situation or that situation? It's a very and some decisions you will regret, some will live with you for ages, but it will always be a decision. As a documentary storyteller, especially, it will always be a decision you'll have to be making on the go. What's my impact?
I love that analogy. First thing first, what I'll say is, if it were not for you and life without PJ, Goofy, you guys made us know what's happening in Mandamano, what's so not, and you
yeah,
sold Kenya outside there, which was so nice. Thank you so much. Asanteni
Amazing.
sana. Manake, if you didn't do that, I bet wase wengi wangekuwa wanajua what's happening in Kenya currently.
True,
and you taking that initiative na huku hata pazuri financially and
Yeah,
going to the streets, and that's quite miraculous.
Crazy.
That's how good stories are made.
Yeah, and I think and especially to creatives, unasema vile see same thing you've said. Mimi kina Goofy kina nani, we made people or the world aware of what was going on in the country at that point,
Yes.
right? I feel we still have another task to do after this, because I have full faith and hope that whatever this mess we're in is going to end at some point, right?
Inshallah.
Be it with this election, be it however may, we need to get back to the point that is Kenya, right?
Yes.
I feel the people, the creatives who've done so much in terms of putting word out, whether to the rest of the country or to the world, in terms of what happened on 25th June, what's happening with Mandamano, we'll still have a bigger job once we've landed safely to remind the world of what Kenya actually is, right? Right now, the stories we are putting out in Mandamano, we are fighting politics, nanini, and these are stories that will need to be told, and to be told as best as possible. But once we land safely, we'll have to go back to making content of Kina Masai Mara, Kina what's beautiful in Kenya, how are the people in Kenya, what's the culture, what's the nini. We need to go back there and remind the world again that we are not. Right now, if you mention, someone will not know, someone in Europe might not even point to a map of where Congo is.
Yes.
But ukimtajia Congo, that place with war, people dying, women with children in their bags carrying, that's the picture they have, right? Our picture right now is protest. Our picture right now is political turmoil.
Yes.
And we have to tell that picture.
Yes.
But once we land safely, that cannot be the end. We need to go back to then what is our picture now. We need to start bringing people back to the country. People bringing faith back to the Kenya that was. This is the most stable country in Africa. This is the most progressive. Tech is doing amazing. We need to go back to telling stories of that now once we land safely.
You see? Smart person.
Akili mtu wangu.
We can sip on that. So thank you so much for gracing Sips and Soul. I know we could have talked more, have more information.
Mehe hapa mtanisimamisha kesho. Mehe.
You know?
Yeah.
But thank you so much for gracing
I appreciate
the studio, the Touch Media Studios. Tunashukuru sana. In case you have any other project you want us to come in and help you,
by all
we'll
means,
be glad. I would love to see another maybe docu from you concerning all this,
sure.
the aftermath of now. The next day after demonstrations.
Yes.
I would love to see such clips because
trust me.
That's
in the works. Yeah,
because we normally go back to business as if nothing has happened, which is quite not normal.
It's not normal, but it's also something that I appreciate about Kenyans.
Yes.
Kenyans are just we are too resilient for this world, to be honest.
So I want you to look at that big camera. Tell us where we're gonna find you. Share with us your video so that pia the viewer waone kitu umefanya for those ones who have not seen yet.
For sure.
Yes.
For sure.
Waambie kwenye tunaweza kupata na patia kijana huko nje. Kijana mmoja ama wawili watatu wenye wanapenda cinematography. Wapatie words of motivation.
Papa. Salam. So I am just Obra, _Obra on all of my socials. And the video, yes, I'll share the video with you. I think it was for me that video changed a lot for me. For me the video changed a lot in terms of what it has done, especially outside the country, right? So won best.
And finally you didn't sell the camera.
I did. And 2 months after, I got the same exact camera again. We are back
Beautiful
to
endings.
Sony.
Yeah, this is Sony.
Yeah, plug. Yes, plug.
Okay.
So just _Obra kwa all socials, and I'll say, for me, my biggest aim right now and how I'm seeing life is to be someone that I needed when I was coming up in the industry, right? I always say, when I was coming up here, when I was 2021, what would I have needed? What would I have needed to hear? Who would I have needed in my life for that sort of career growth, right?
Yes.
So I always think, when you wake up in the morning, you need to aim to be someone for someone who's in their yesterday, right? Because they haven't experienced their yesterday. You have experienced their yesterday. So if you can be someone for their yesterday, it will help. So,
Nice.
and with that, I'd say it's very easy. It's very easy for you to quit, to give up on whatever career line that you are in. It's extremely easy. That's the easiest choice you can ever make.
True.
But I, at the same time, think, especially after you've gone through some period of struggle, of hurt, of disparity, of anything, if you give up at that point, whatever period that you've struggled is going to be pointless. That's going to be forgotten. But if you actually stick around and reward yourself from it, then it won't be pointless. If you quit, it's going to be pointless. The 3 months that you struggled are going to be pointless, because for what? But if you make it into the 4th month, then what you're doing is rewarding yourself from all that pain and struggle. So at least don't walk away empty-handed. You have to reward yourself. Don't give up yet until you can reward yourself.
Yes. Asanteni sana. Thank you so much for that.
Lovely.
Karibu
Thank
sana
you for
tena
having
na
me.
tena na tena.
Aye, hapa. Kesho, same time. Same time.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Amina Hussein, and remember, you're watching Sips and Soul, where we share, feel, and connect with human interest stories. Till next time.